Plants are often seen as silent, solitary beings, but recent research has revealed that they have complex methods of communication. From using chemical signals to sharing information through underground networks, plants exhibit behaviors that show they are anything but passive. Here are the top 10 strangest and most fascinating ways plants communicate with each other. 1. Chemical signals in the air. When plants are attacked by herbivores like insects, they can release volatile organic compounds, VOCs, into the air. These chemicals act as distress signals, warning neighboring plants of the danger. In response, nearby plants may boost their chemical defenses, like producing toxins to deter the pests. For example, when a cotton plant is grazed by caterpillars, it releases VOCs that prompt nearby plants to become more resistant to the caterpillars. 2. The Wood Wide Web. Beneath the forest floor, plants are part of an intricate underground network known as the Wood Wide Web. This system is made up of mycorrhizal fungi that connect the roots of different plants. Through this network, plants exchange nutrients, such as carbon and nitrogen, and even send warning signals to each other in case of pest attacks or droughts. The fungi act as intermediaries, allowing plants to talk to each other and share resources. 3. Root signaling. Plants use their roots to communicate in a variety of ways, often by releasing chemicals into the soil. For instance, when a plant detects a neighboring plant competing for space or nutrients, it can release chemicals that inhibit the growth of its rivals. This chemical warfare is a way for plants to establish dominance in their environment, often called allelopathy. Some plants even secrete substances to attract beneficial microbes to their roots, helping them survive in nutrient-poor soil. 4. Light sensing and shading. Plants have evolved to communicate through light by sensing the presence of neighboring plants. Known as shade avoidance, plants can detect the light spectrum being altered by nearby vegetation. If a plant senses that it is being overshadowed by a larger neighbor, it will redirect its growth toward light, stretching its stems or branches. This allows plants to outcompete each other for sunlight, optimizing their chances of survival. 5. The talk of flowering. Plants also communicate with each other through flowering patterns. Some plants release scent or produce bright flowers to attract pollinators, but other plants use timing as their form of communication. Certain species of plants bloom at the same time to increase the chances of cross-pollination. This synchronization ensures genetic diversity and survival, as it creates a stronger and more effective pollinator presence. 6. Electric signals. In response to injury or environmental stress, plants can send electrical signals to their leaves and other parts of their structure. These electrical signals are similar to nerve impulses in animals, and they can trigger various defensive responses, such as closing stomata to conserve water or producing chemicals that ward off herbivores. Some plants, like the sensitive mimosa, can also send these signals to quickly close their leaves when touched, as a defensive measure against threats. 7. Mimicry for mutual benefit. Some plants use mimicry to communicate with their environment and other species. For example, some plants will release pheromones that mimic the scent of pollinators, like bees or butterflies. These signals attract beneficial insects that will help with pollination. In some cases, plants even mimic the flowers of other species to trick pollinators into visiting them. 8. Vibrational communication. Recent studies suggest that plants can communicate using vibrations. When a plant's leaves or stems are touched by wind or insects, they can emit specific vibrational frequencies. These vibrations may trigger biochemical changes in the plant or signal neighboring plants about environmental conditions. One example is the vibration response of the Mimosa pudica, which reacts to touch by rapidly folding its leaves. 9. Resin and tannin defense mechanisms. Some plants communicate by producing sticky resins or tannins as a defense mechanism. When they are attacked by herbivores, the plant secretes these substances to protect itself. These resins can also serve as warning signals to neighboring plants, who may then begin producing their own defenses. This form of chemical signaling can create a cascading effect across a whole ecosystem, where one plant's response triggers the actions of others. 10. Sound waves and ultrasound. In a discovery that shook the plant science community, researchers have found that plants can hear sound waves and may use them to communicate. In one experiment, plants were shown to respond differently to specific sounds, such as the rustling of leaves or the buzz of an insect. This discovery suggests that plants may use sound waves or even ultrasound to detect threats, such as herbivores, and activate their defenses, even if they are not directly in contact with the threat. While plants don't talk, in the traditional sense, the many fascinating ways they communicate reveal just how complex and interconnected the plant world is. Through chemical signals, vibrations, and underground networks, plants have evolved sophisticated means of interaction that help them survive, thrive, and support the ecosystems they inhabit. This hidden world of plant communication continues to challenge our understanding and reveals just how remarkable nature truly is.